Are we actually in a bubble? Is a crash really coming? And even if it is, what should you as an investor do? Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Investors Hangout of 2026. Wish you all a very happy new year. This series is brought to you by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and Value Research. Now, if you've ever been close to the market, you must have heard one question non-stop. Are we in a bubble? Is there going to be a crash soon? And why not? SIP inflows have been growing ever since, demat accounts have soared, and so a whole generation has only seen market ups. So in today's episode, instead of adding another prediction to the long list, let's ask something that's useful for each one of us. That's exactly what we have Dhirendra Kumar with us for, to answer this question and much more. Welcome, Dhirendra.
Thank you.
Let's begin with what everyone wants to know.
Let's begin 2026, yes.
Yes, is a crash coming?
I wish I knew. We have people calling the forthcoming crash for nearly 1.5, 2 years. Beginning of the year, I was told that the market will crumble very badly. And but market is a ever-changing place. A lot of things contribute to it. India is certainly looking more expensive than most other markets when we look at it comparatively. But at the same time, India is also a faster growing market, so it can well be defended. Second is that the Buffett indicator, which is gross domestic product in relation to the market cap, that looks a little expensive. That is one single, it's what Warren Buffett calls a single most important variable, or single variable which indicates that what is the general level of the market. But it's a very lopsided thing in India, because good part of our economy is just not in the listed traded universe. We have so many public sector companies, we have so many foreign companies operating in India which are part of our GDP, gross national product, or GDP, but they are not part of the listed universe. So market cap and GDP may not be, but generally speaking, yes, it does not look cheap. Then third thing is that FIIs call our market not very expensive, but they are still not investing. This is going to be a second successive year where they have pulled out. And when I look at the positives, one is that we in last 3-4 years we have seen the resurgence of the manufacturing sector, which I never imagined that we will be getting from there. Then there are other negatives too. If I look at some more negatives in terms of what is happening in AI and the complexion of the Indian IT services business, I don't know what is in store for us. How much should we be scared? But at the same time, we should not be, because these companies have witnessed at least 3-4 big cyclical changes. When I look at the optimistic case, we are witnessing a resurgence of the manufacturing. Look at the corporate balance sheet. We have the banks which are in pink of their health, and when we look at corporate balance sheet, they're all sitting on money. Companies making profit, paying taxes, and after that, left over with a lot of money which can be spent on adding greater capacity, which will lead to even faster growth. Return on equity has improved. Interest rates have stabilized. And that will improve profitability. And when I look at one particular factor which is quite unusual, that we are witnessing a second, third, fourth year of the surge in domestic investors' money. And it is not a seasonal thing. And this is a systemic change, because democratization of the Indian equity market through mutual fund is of an unprecedented scale, and that is supported by two other things: EPFO flows and NPF flows. So I don't know whether we can actually visualize what the world will be, because we have never seen it in the past. We have, for last 25 years, we have seen Indian markets where it has been seasonal. Companies make a lot of money and the market goes up dramatically, and then the reversion to mean, or the cyclicality of earnings. Likewise, a certain sector, narrowness of the rally and all that. This time around, it's different. It is so broad-based. And then emergence of many sectors. I think if you are young, you should be investing in equity. If you are investing in equity, you should be diversified. If you are investing in equity and your investment is nothing meaningful, hell with the fear that the market will crash, because you will never be able to get into the market if you remain fearful. Because we were fearful 2 years ago, we were fearful a year ago, and we are fearful now, and we were fearful 10 years ago, 5 years ago. So the fear of equity. So I think you just need to chalk up plan for yourself. And those plans are, and you must have those, premise in place to benefit from it. And don't wait any further.
Yeah. So instead of being fearful, how should investors think about risk?
There are 2-3 risks. And one is that you have to really understand what you're getting into. You have to understand what you're buying. So there are 2-3 things. One is that you can have the finest of product, which could be inappropriate for you. That is one. Suitability risk. So if you get the best of liquid fund, it will never get you growth. And if you get the finest equity fund and expect it to remain stable in the short run, it will never happen. You have to figure it out. And then also for me to really acclimatize someone about risk when he has not seen a decline in the market is very difficult. You have to watch your money go down in value. If I tell you that if your money goes down by 30%, how much will you cry? You will say something which will have no meaning. I have to really see that when it actually goes down, how do you behave? How do you conduct? Do you watch? Do you get a sense of it? So that's one aspect of it. Second is that how urgent is that money? You could be very confident that, okay, long term the market will go up. But fourth year, you definitely need the money. So your context and the suitability of the product and choosing the right thing, it matters. And this is where a meaningful advisor comes into play. So fit and the product. So you have this product risk. You have to understand that how bad it could be and can you reconcile, can you grapple with that? Second is that, the suitability bit. Third is how badly you behave. And it is it's almost impossible to guess how will you behave. Because last 4-5 years, the number of Indian investors investing in mutual fund has gone up from about 2.5 crore to 5 crore. Now this 2.5 crore people who are backing this SIP movement, the mutual fund Sahi Hai believers, I don't know how they will behave when they see a 15% decline in the value of their investments from the peak. Even though they will be sitting on gains. The good thing is that the way they are doing their SIP, it is very unlikely that they will panic, because you panic so much more, or you panic more when you invest 5 lakh rupees and that turns into 4 lakh. But when you invest 20,000 rupees a month and in 2 years time you have done some 4.8 lakh rupees and it went up to 8 lakh rupees and now it has come down to 6 lakh rupees. So you still feel happy that you have been able to accumulate something meaningful even though it has crashed from the peak by 10, 15, 20%. So that I think is my comfort, that Indian investors, there will be reasons, there will be pockets of the market which will fall, they will crumble, there are tactical things, there are things which go out of favor, there are companies which are in the limelight for the wrong reason and they crash. But I don't think there is a widespread thing. There is one thing which investors should be aware of, that a good sustained market rise is never backed by one reason. Likewise, a big crash, free falling market for a long period of time, that will never be one reason. It has to be bad economy, it has to be bad interest, it has to be bad behavior, it has to be bad flows. Unless 2, 3, 4, you need convergence of 3, 4 bad things for that to cause that, and you need combination of 4, 5 things to drive the market up. So we have I think we have more favorables in the market. Third thing which people should be conscious of, that we think that the market will go up, we think that the market will go down. There is third thing that happens. The market goes nowhere.
Yeah, that's what happened in 2025.
And it could be a time correction.
Yeah.
Time correction with your SIP is great news, because time correction with the hope that the market will go up at a future date, you are buying cheap. At the same time, you are not buying in a manner that you are regretting every time that it has gone down again. Because new investors, for them, a time correction or a market which goes nowhere for a while and you still have the patience can do wonders.
Right. So putting all of this together, valuations, fundamentals, and these risks, what should investors really do?
Same thing that we have been saying, and the boring thing that I've been saying for 3-4 years, which is diversify, keep doing the SIP, don't watch the values every day, and be goal oriented. And depending on the goal, invest in the right vehicle. So investing for 2-3 years, choose the conservative vehicle. 5-7 years, choose equity. Make sure substantial part is diversified. Only a small part, 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever, is invested in a part where you are getting excited about, or you're getting tempted about, or you think it'll work. Let it happen. But good part, 60-70 dominant part of your portfolio should be diversified, and that will take care of all the cyclicality.
So tame the
You'll profit
product.
from it.
Yeah. So tame the product and fix the fit.
Yes.
What
and
about
your
behavior?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Combine the three. For all the new investors who have been attracted to mutual funds and the Indian market, and they have heard the good stories, and it has become very easy to invest, so it has also become very easy to disinvest. You have to be careful about two things. One is that don't think that you are missing the opportunity. You have to invest for many, many years. And don't get fearful at the wrong time. All your good work, investing for last 2-3 years, sitting on some profit, or not losing anything substantial, being lucky with this phase of the market. If the market goes down by 15-20%, don't panic. Your losses will be permanent. And for that, if you are preparing yourself for the right kind of money, with the right temperament, and being a regular investor, 1 more year, 1 or 2 more years, and you will figure out that the compounding, when it triggers, how magical it is.
Right. So the real risk in 2026 is not whether the markets will fall. It's whether your portfolio is ready. If you are ready, that is what matters in the long run. Thank you for watching Investors Hangout. Keep watching this space for more information. If you like the show, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Wishing you a very happy new year once again.